Today we're going to make a low-cost DIY shade structure that can withstand high winds. I built this structure a while back using the Toja Grid system, and there's a link to that in the description below. We used to use it as an outdoor workshop, but these days we're using it more as an extra living room for entertaining. We used to have heavy-duty nylon tarps that were strapped to the structure, but the wind slowly tore the stitching right off the straps. So I decided to try construction mesh in strips to create shade that lets about half the light through, but then moves with the wind, but doesn't catch too much of it to the point where it will tear off. The structure is made out of 4x4s, but to mount the construction fabric, I'm going to use EMT conduit. Conduit like this is low cost, really easy to cut with just a tube cutter, is zinc coated, and surprisingly strong. There are also so many different types of mounting clips and couplings that make it really easy to mount to just about any other structure. I started by screwing the mounting clips to the underside of the 4x4s. The closer you do the spacing, the more sun you'll block, but I went with about an 8-inch space in between each one of the mounting clips. The conduit came in 10-foot lengths, so for the middle support, I just doubled up the mounting clips to provide a little extra stability. The conduit can be pressed right into the clips and it holds them nicely while I grab the bolts that I screw through to tighten and secure them into place. We don't have a lot of moisture in the air here in Joshua Tree, so the metal will do just fine outside, but if you're in a more humid climate, you might want to consider using PVC pipe that would better resist corrosion. The 10-foot lengths didn't quite line up with the 10-foot 2x4s because of the extra length provided by the Toja Grid brackets, but I just used a coupling to connect the two pieces of conduit. On the far end, I had to cut some short pieces to make up for the extra length that was created by the Toja Grid brackets. We laid out the full roll of construction cloth and cut it with scissors. We went with strips that were about 18 inches wide, and it was really easy to cut it consistently by just following the grid. I used zip ties to attach the construction cloth to the conduit, and I just use a zip tie every couple of feet. I had the zip ties reasonably snug so it doesn't slide too freely, but so that I can still adjust it as I go. There's a nice fluttering effect in the wind that creates a little bit of movement without any noise, and as you can see, it blocks about 50% of the light, as opposed to that shadow line that you'll see in the lower left-hand corner, which is caused by a solid wall. Before I show you the rest of the furniture setup for our outdoor living and dining room, let's hear a word from the sponsor of this video, HelloFresh. This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-proportioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. I like HelloFresh because it helps me achieve my goals. With calorie smart and carb smart recipes, I can indulge in delicious meals without the worries. HelloFresh's recipes are delicious. Shane and I really enjoy these sweet chili pork bowls with bell peppers and candied peanuts. HelloFresh offers a variety of different recipes each week to help you break away from a recipe rut. It also saves time, not just from shopping, but they offer a variety of quick and easy recipes, including 20-minute meals with easy cleanup and low prep options. I also like that HelloFresh lets me eat a little bit more sustainably with pre-proportioned ingredients, which means less wasted food. And the packaging HelloFresh uses to ship your food is already recycled content. So go to HelloFresh.com and use code HOMEMADE16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. That's HelloFresh.com and use code HOMEMADE16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. All right, back to the build. Alright, for the furniture for this project, we're mixing some old DIY projects that have gotten a little worse for wear, along with some new furniture that we got hooked up with from our friends over at Article. This concrete table I made a couple years ago, and the rough surface was used for some food photography shoots. But now we want it to match the newer Article furniture, so I just poured some Quikrete floor resurfacing concrete right on top to get a nice smooth finish. I sealed it with spray-on acrylic, gave the whole exterior, which is a little bit rusty, a light sanding, and then cut out a piece of 1/4-inch particle board to use as a stencil so that I could spray paint a cool design over it. I'm using Krylon Fusion all-in-one spray paint. It's a really great spray paint when you're working with multiple materials, because it adheres really well to just about everything. I've used it on plastic, metal, concrete, and wood. And very quickly we transformed this coffee table from industrial modern to something a little more sleek and refined. I've built a lot of outdoor sofas as DIY projects. I'll put a link to those in the description. So it was nice to test those versus a store-bought one. This sofa from Article is about $850. Article is sort of a mid-tier furniture company. They're more expensive than IKEA, but less than restoration hardware. This stuff's quite nice. It assembles really fast, and it's up to you whether or not the convenience makes it worth it versus a more cost-effective DIY project. They also sent us an outdoor rug, a dining table, a bunch of chairs, along with some terrazzo planters and side tables. I really like the soft, fluttery shadows the system creates, and the flexibility is really nice because I can always go in and add more conduit in between the existing runs, and then I might even add in another layer of construction cloth and vary the widths this time so that the ceiling texture is even more three-dimensional. Now, as you can see in the late afternoon, which isn't too much of a big deal because it's not as hot then, there is that little gap as the sun angle lowers in the west, but for the most part, we got nice 50% shade throughout the majority of the hot hours. And if we really want to block out more light, we could extend the fabric along the sides of the structure. But overall, it's a really fantastic second living room, and it's been a really great place for outdoor entertaining. Now, this construction cloth is typically used to control dust and debris on construction sites, and it comes in a variety of different colors. I first got interested in it when I saw colorful versions of it used on different scaffolding systems, and the buildings just had, even though they were under construction, this really cool, almost art installation type feel to them. I'll put links to the specific cloth that I bought, and hit me up with your ideas on how you would use this system in your own home. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.